of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM, the number one gospel station in Jamaica. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also check us out on the Love 101 FM Facebook Live and YouTube Live. In the main watch today, Devon House renovation, progress or pure profit? That's the question. In the second watch, the road to drug-free schools in 2023. In our social media question, we ask, at what point does the renovation of a heritage site become too much? Share your responses in our Facebook or YouTube Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your comments later on in the program, but first, here's I quote.
Good morning, good morning. This morning's I quote is an inspirational quote, and it says, Be a positive energy trampoline, absorb what you need and rebound more back. This is by Dave Carolan.
Okay. Be a positive energy trampoline.
Mm-hmm. Absorb what you need and rebound more back.
Jukal.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
What a go on for the morning here?
Yeah, I'm a day upon heaven's side.
Good, that sounds good to me. Well, we'll be right back on the morning watch, the main watch. We'll be back after this break.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley.
I'm Jakal.
I'm Victor.
I'm Chantel.
And we are
The Pulse Podcast.
You can find us every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Love 101 FM JA's YouTube channel.
Yes, 7 to 8 p.m. And ensure you follow us on social media, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
At The Pulse Podcast JA.
The Pulse Podcast, your weekly source of authentic, Jamaican, faith-based, creative content and edutainment.
About culture, creative expressions and games. This is the Pulse Podcast.
Jamaicans all, this one is for you. Heal the Family, Heal the Nation National Day of Prayer, January 4, 2023, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. National Arena, Kingston, Jamaica, under the theme, Teach Us True Respect for All. A day of prayer, fasting, preaching, and praise and worship. It will be on radio, television, social media platforms. Be there and be blessed. January 4, National Arena, Heal the Family, Heal the Nation, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. See you there.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the main watch. And there have been a number of comments in relation to the Devon House renovation. In fact, one of them is by someone who should be a guest this morning on this program, on this show. And many listeners by now would have seen images, or they may have actually seen the physical changes to the courtyard area of Devon House. They may have been accustomed to a certain look before that might have had a more homely look, more grass. Might have looked like the courtyard of maybe some houses actually. And it's looking quite different now. And some persons have some very strong concerns, heated concerns about it. On the other hand, some people seem to like it, even love it. And with these varying responses, we will look at the matter this morning. Should we really all be concerned, or is it that some things can be done a bit differently? We should be having online this morning Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon, lecturer, culture and media studies at the University of the West Indies. And I believe we already have online Kevin O'Brien Chang, social commentator. Good morning, Mr. O'Brien Chang.
Hi, morning, everybody.
Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon, are you with us?
I am. Good morning.
Wonderful. Great having you both. Now, getting right into it, what are the concerns about the renovations at Devon House? Some persons have spoken about loss of some green space. There is the thought that the feeling you had before when you entered the courtyard, it felt more homely, like you were in a real courtyard of a house. That has changed, it would appear. The nostalgia has somewhat gone. Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon, it has been noticed that in social media circles, certainly you have expressed some very strong views on the matter. What concerns do you have?
Morning, everybody. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Stokeley. There have been a number of lobbies that have come out in response to the changes that have been made at Devon House. There have been environmental lobbies that have spoken about it. There have been architecture lobbies that have spoken about it, issues to do with heritage, and just people who have general aesthetic concerns. My concerns kind of encapsulate much of that, but my concerns are actually a little different to those that have been expressed in those specific areas. My concerns have to do with issues of planning and planning for entertainment and recreation in Jamaica. That's my area of interest, academic interest. It's my area of liberty. It's the work that I've done for all of my life. And I believe that governments across the world have always had to deal with issues of balance, that have balancing economic growth and sustainable development. And I am not clear that we have established a sufficient blueprint in Jamaica to show the direction that we're taking with regards to that, establishing that balance. And I think Devon House is an excellent example of that. And so that kind of encapsulates my concerns with regards to this. It was clearly, even the early tweets that came out about it spoke about the changes being made to create new venues. There are lots of arguments that can be brought about venues. We just completed a study about venues in Kingston and some of the issues that impact that. And one of the greatest one is the absence of cohesive planning. And so I think, that's a general direction that my objections came from. Aesthetically, I was very clear that I'd have to see it in person to make a judgment, but the pictures alone caused my heart to sink. So that should kind of give you a general.
Dr. Hickling Gordon, I think you're being a little bit well, let me not put words into your mouth, but let me read exactly what I see of what you put on Twitter recently, December 22nd, 2022. The words that we see under your name, under your Twitter handle, I don't know what to say, ellipsis. who coulda, another ellipsis, in all conscience question sign. I want to see it in person first to come to a conclusion, but the before and after pictures make me want to shed tears.
Absolutely.
Tears. Why the word tears?
Absolutely.
Why tears?
It evokes an emotional response. Absolutely. If you have a space that was green and lush, in the context of climate change, in the context of heritage, in the context of planning and so on, and because of the directions that we've been taking our discussions about development. I think that there needs to be some reconsideration, because indeed we're losing ourselves in more ways than one, and it is tear jerking.
Yes, Mr. Brian Chang. When I saw the before and after pictures, and no, I have not seen it. I was trying my best to see it before today, but alas, the traffic, it was just horrible. But the before and after pictures, to me, did evoke a reaction. I was actually quite I almost mortified, I must confess, Mr. Brian Chang. But I know other people have another view. Other people think it's wonderful and lovely and great. Mr. Brian Chang, what are your thoughts?
Well, the whole Devon House thing, on a bigger picture, the controversy, the classic case of the negativity we see on social media driven, the outrage. And especially on Twitter, there is almost an automatic negative reaction to everything on Twitter. Before people even know what they're talking about, there's nothing clear. It's that it can't work. It's wrong. It's mashing up the place. No, I haven't seen it either. I've seen the pictures. But also critically, we saw a release from the relevant government body that this is not the finished product. They said they wanted it to be used for Christmas by the public. So they said it's not the finished product, but we are allowing the public to use it because, of course, Christmas Devon House, everybody loves it. And they gave pictures of what the plan is and what they hope to do. With a lot of plants and stuff. I mean, you know, they have your basic courtyard and stuff.
Mr. Brian Chang, I want to raise this one. A lot of the lawn has been removed. I know you can put plants there, but a lot of the lawn has been removed. I mean, couldn't they have left some of the lawn that has been removed?
On Sunday, Carolyn Cooper wrote an excellent article on Devon House thing, right?
I saw it.
Her introduction. And last Sunday, I went to look at the renovated courtyard at Devon House. The makeover is not completed, but already I get a sense of the big picture. The design is really quite elegant. Once the foliage grows up, the courtyard will be even more attractive.
The caption of her article actually says Devon House courtyard and excellent development.
Hold on now.
I'm just reading the headline of her article. It actually says Devon House courtyard and excellent development.
Yeah, right. And then she goes on to talk about
Go ahead, Mr. Brad.
The practical matters being addressed. First of all, when it rains, it gets soggy, it can flood.
Yeah.
When you have grass is lovely. Everybody loves the grass when it's nice and sunny, you know, right? But when it gets rain,
Mr. Brian Chang, I see where we are already up. I see where we are already up on a break. Hold that thought, sir. Listeners, please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Career options open for local and overseas job opportunities in the booming hospitality and tourism industry with City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certification at Distinction College. Start online and face-to-face classes very soon in a career of high demand for workers globally and get certified in housekeeping, food preparation, waitering, travel, tourism, and hospitality, bartending and mixology, customer service, call center, cake baking and decorating, airline ticketing. No subjects required, no age limit. Register this week and get an additional course for free. Call Distinction College at 876-356-4167 or 354-8560. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, Ocho Rios online or St. Elizabeth.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Safety on our roads is our responsibility. Jamaicans, drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians, slow down. Observe the rules of the road. Be courteous. Drive defensively. Be considerate. Buckle up. Wear a helmet. The careless overtaker is only rushing to the undertaker. Not observing the rules of the road could cost you your life and that of your loved ones. I encourage all road users to take special care as we use public thoroughfares. The life you save may be your own. Remember, your family wants you to arrive alive.
Importers, the Jamaica Customs Agency is making its contactless clearance process for non-commercial shipments available until January 6, 2023. This will enable you to clear your cargo without having to visit a warehouse to do a physical inspection. Here are your options. You may request contactless clearance through your freight forwarder. Your freight forwarder may offer contactless clearance to you. Your agent will indicate if you've been selected under the contactless clearance process. Importers, use contactless clearance and avoid the wait. For further details, email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the main watch, and the topic is Devon House renovation, progress or pure profit? That's the question. Our guests are Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon and Kevin O'Brien Chang. Mr. O'Brien Chang, you're making a very interesting point before the break. Please continue, sir. Mr. O'Brien Chang.
Yeah, you hear me?
Continue, Mr. O'Brien Chang. Continue.
Yeah. She said that the release from the Ministry of Tourism, the new design will address a number of issues, including uneven surfaces from tree roots in the vicinity, poor drainage which leads to flooding when it rains, limited seating for patrons, and structural damage to wooden columns and pergolas. All right? And additionally, the current design of the area does not allow for ease of movement when traversing the various shops and restaurants in the courtyard. And to quote her, all of this seems entirely reasonable. You know, and I mean, as I said...
I agree with her on the seating issue. And I also think that the disabled would have had a challenge in the now former courtyard. But having said what I just said, I just still wondered if there wasn't a way to still keep some of the grass. I don't know. I just loved the grass in that courtyard.
Again, you know, if you listen to Twitter and read what people are saying, digging up.
No. Forget about Twitter. Forget about Twitter, Mr. O'Brien. I'm speaking personally.
They're not digging up the whole place. There's a certain area that they're making more practically usable, right? You want more people to come there. You want bigger crowds. You want to hold events. It's a commercial space. It's not somebody's backyard. And a commercial space has to look at all the practicalities.
Is that the essence of it, though, Mr. O'Brien Chang, that we are seeing? It is a commercial space, yes, but it was a very special type of commercial space. After all, you know, it is named Devon House. Not Devon Park.
Again, the concrete, the courtyard with the how it looks. Not people can't look at this as this is the finished product. That's the mistake people are making. If you look at the picture,
we know that.
We're going to plant up a lot of grass and foliage and things around it, so to have that feeling which we want, of course, of the greenery all around, but you want the practical aspects. When it rains, the flooding, you don't want the mud all around. You want people can see. So when you go abroad and see places, that's how they're generally done. You have a practical space where, you know, people can gather, equipment can be put down, all that you can move around easily. But you plant up the trees and stuff to give it the atmosphere which we want. And as I say, I haven't seen it, but I have the release, and as Karen Cooper says, it looks sensible. The concern Karen Cooper puts forward again is a concern we would all have. Let us hope they won't start charging center Devon House. You know, that's a bigger issue to me. I hope the plans will allow everybody from rich to therefore, to go there, that continues. That's the critical issue to government that will come out and state clearly. It can't become a place where only for the elite. That is a bigger concern to me. I don't think that's stupid enough. The Minister of Tourism is to make a giant concrete bowl there, because Jamaica is known for its lush beauty. It has that concept, and the pictures show that they've taken that into concern. Practical but pretty. That's what I have seen in the pictures.
Understood. I'm hoping that the relevant authorities will consider the various concerns expressed, both negative and positive, because not every negative comment is to be dismissed. And not every
debate, and we need all angles to be talked about.
Yes,
yes. My problem here is a rush to premature judgment, looking at a picture which is not the finished product, and then using it as a straw man to say the place smashed down. It's not logical.
I'm not so sure if well, anyway, I will leave that one alone. Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon, in terms of community involvement when these decisions are being made, we know that we have certain bodies and institutions which are charged with the responsibility of carrying out these various things. But the negative reaction that many have experienced when they saw the before and after pictures, and even persons who may have seen the place, do you think that perhaps if there had been a little bit more inclusion in the plans going forward as they were, that might have been somewhat reduced? Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon?
That has been a common refrain for many decades in terms of inclusion in policy making and decision making, and I've actually been trying to determine exactly when the announcements were made, and I think they were made in March. I am not sure whether designs went with them or how much consultation took place, but usually in policy it is written into the process of developing policy to include extensive consultation. It would seem to me from the hue and cry that emerged afterwards that many of the experts in particular areas may not have been consulted. And I wanted to kind of respond to something that Kevin said, and he's perfectly right. All voices must contend and must be able to contend without kind of casting aspersions on those voices. Some of the individuals who came out on this particular issue are experts in a particular area. The architectural experts came out, the environmental experts, the aesthetic experts, and so on came out, and because especially somebody like Professor Cooper, whose opinion I absolutely welcome on many matters. I think it's important that we not rubbish those perspectives regardless of the medium through which they are expressed. This is the means that people have to be able to express their alarm. And this issue about it not being finished, if you really look critically at the sets of designs that came out after, I don't want to use the word damage, but it's the word that comes to mind. The damage has already been done. If you go anywhere in the world, there are botanical gardens, there are green spaces, there are parks that take into account all of the issues of drainage, of seating, of maintaining the environmental balance. The changes could have been made in a much more sustainable and aesthetic manner to kind of maintain the feel of the space as Dr. Green would have identified.
Patricia Green, architect, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But a question though, Dr. Deborah Hickling Gordon. The after pictures look good, It's just that they are very different from what was there before, and even though it's a shock to see the after pictures, well, it's a shock to me. What about the matter of the disabled having better access and the grass getting very soggy when it rains?
No.
That sort of thing.
I think we are confusing the issue of making change and making like I said, I don't. There's no challenge in making change. There's sometimes you have to change things that exist in order to deal with issues of security, with issues of access, all of the things. But it is the way in which this particular change was made, and we are awaiting when the green space comes in. But I cannot imagine that. That those changes will not be reflective of some of the challenges that already exist, and that is why the hue and cry emerged.
I see. Now, Mr. Brian Chang, any comments in relation to community involvement when these changes are being made?
Community involvement is always a good thing, in theory, but
only in theory, sir. Only in theory.
No, I don't finish yet.
Okay.
I'm saying too many cooks spoil the broth. And also when you're making changes, you want some input from all the stakeholders.
Yeah.
But if you start listening to everybody, it gets confusing and you get dragged on forever. And there's two sides to the story. And I've experienced this in various aspects in Jamaica.
Well, that's why, Mr. Brian Chang, we have joint select committee meetings in Parliament, and people come and they give their views.
I know, but I'm saying is, I have seen experience myself. You start consulting, all of a sudden it's bogged down, this and that, and it takes forever. But I come back to my fundamental point here.
Yes.
Constructive criticism is always good.
Yes.
Debate is always good. Democracy is a debate. But people are focusing on this before and after picture. The after does not represent the final product. If you're going to criticize or, make your comment, focus on what the final plan is, not where it's bare bones. You just have this bare concrete and bricks there because they have that planted up it. As I come back to the point, they said they wanted it for the use of the public over the holidays. They have not had time to finish the planting up and the foliage and all that, right? So when people are going to critique, you cannot use the non-finished product to critique and say, look at it, look lousy, terribly, horrible. Because
can I say though?
Is going to be. And so,
can I say though, Kevin?
One second, Dr. Lingard. 1 second.
Yeah, well, let me just finish up. As I say, I am all for constructive criticism, but you have to compare apples to apples.
You had said that already, Mr. Brian Chan, because only because of time. Dr. Hickling-Gordon, what was that comment?
The point I wanted to make is that beyond the initial hue and cry, most people went way beyond the issues of the before and after picture that brought about a visceral reaction because it was as you said, Stokeley, it was shocking. But when the analysis was done from all the various perspectives, the constructive criticism came. It can't be poo-pooed away as people being negative. It's really about people having analyzed the issues.
Dr. Hickling-Gordon, unfortunately, we're totally out of time. It's not yet finished. Let us see what happens. But again, all views contend, and we welcome all views on the Morning Watch. I want to thank Dr. Hickling-Gordon and Kevin O'Brien for being with us today. Thank you for your time and for your thoughts, the both of you. Listeners, please stay with us. We're back at the Morning Watch. Always a pleasure having both of you. Listeners, stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Talk to Jane Bank today to find out about achieving your own sweet home in 30 days. The time by Jane Bank Mortgage is
7:30.
From From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
NIS pensioners' completed life certificates are to be submitted to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security once every 4 months. Check the return date on your life certificates and submit before the due date. For further information, contact the National Insurance Scheme at 876-922-8000-14 or visit the Ministry's website. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have a bit of sad news. In fact, quite a horrible news story here in the Gleaner. Fatal end. Couple discovered dead in apparent murder-suicide as divorce was being finalized. And this is coming out of Mandeville, Manchester. A couple who is no longer with us. We now turn to Loop Jamaica News. Botched body dump. 4 arrested after attempting to get rid of man. That is a very disturbing item of news there. And we have another item of news which ties in very interestingly with what we'll be discussing in the second watch. NCDA wants early warning system for drugs. This story by Alicia Dunkley Willis, senior staff reporter at The Observer. And a little bit of the story here. Molly, the street name for MDMA, is a popular rave drug used to alter mood and perception and can lead to severe consequences on the heart and the brain. And of course, NCDA is referring to the abbreviation for the National Council on Drug Abuse. Those and many other stories in our various news sources. Of course, coming up next, we'll read through some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question, which is, at what point does the renovation of a heritage site become too much? If you haven't done so yet, leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125. Using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley.
I'm Jakal.
I'm Victor.
I'm Chantel.
And we are
The Pulse Podcast.
You can find us every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Love 101 FM JA's YouTube channel.
Yes, 7 to 8 p.m. And ensure you follow us on social media, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
At The Pulse Podcast JA.
The Pulse Podcast, your weekly source of authentic, Jamaican, faith-based, creative content and edutainment.
About culture, creative expressions, and games. This is the Pulse Podcast.
Jamaicans all, this one is for you. Heal the Family, Heal the Nation National Day of Prayer, January 4, 2023, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. National Arena, Kingston, Jamaica. Under the theme, Teach Us True Respect for All. A day of prayer, fasting, preaching, and praise and worship. It will be on radio, television, social media platforms. Be there and be blessed. January 4, National Arena. Heal the Family, Heal the Nation, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. See you there.
I've got love in my It's the new year, and life was great in 2022. Wouldn't you agree? Over 250 episodes, packed with some great interviews, laughter, spiritual encounters, excitement, and good information. Tune into Alive from Tuesday, January 3 to Friday, January 7 for the Alive Review. Join me, your host, Sarah Ann, the Chirpy One, with your thoughts for an interesting week as we recap the year that was, the highs, whether they be informative or fun or eye-opening moments from our daily features. What was your favorite? Don't forget to WhatsApp us at the appropriate times throughout the show. Hear the announcers pick, producers pick, and lots more inside Alive from Tuesday, January 3 to Friday, January 7 on the family station, Love 101. Happy New Year! And for this year, remember, don't worry, be chirpy.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall, and we move right into the second watch. And some of our children, unfortunately, have easy access to drugs, the wrong type of drugs, and they are using them quite a lot. And we're not just talking about children in school who should be studying, who are using, abusing, or misusing ganja. We are talking about that as well as other drugs. We have on the line to discuss this very serious matter this morning, Dr. Renee Level. She's the national president of the National Association of Deans of Discipline. We also hope to have online a criminologist, Dr. Jason Mackay, who is also the Chief Executive Officer of Mackay Security. Good morning, Dr. Level. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine. Thank you.
Great having you. And Dr. Mackay, are you with us as yet? Maybe not. Don't think so. It seems as if we don't have Dr. Mackay as yet. Hope to have him on as soon as possible. Now, Dr. Level, help us to unravel what's happening. How much of a problem is it in terms of drugs in schools? And how are students getting these drugs? Dr. Level?
Yes, I'm hearing you. All right.
How much of a problem? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Level. Go ahead.
So drug and alcohol use is an increasing problem among our students in schools. It is the result of a combination of factors such as, peer pressure, influence of the media, and availability of the different drugs that they use. The drug addiction among students has many negative effects on the individual, the family, and the community. So these students will be easily get these substances in the community. Also, some school gate will, back in the days, would be selling the different substances in the community near schools.
Now, Dr. Level, I'm so sorry we don't have Dr. Mackay on the line at this time, but in speaking with him before the program, sometime before this program, he indicated to me that some persons, young persons who are not necessarily in school, but who appear to be of school age, I'm trying my best not to misquote him. I wish he were on the line now, but he indicated to me that a lot of them have these pills, these tablets, and these are mood-altering tablets. We're not talking about Panadol or, well, let me not call any brand names here. We're not talking about a drug that you take for a headache or a flu. We're talking about mood-altering pills or tablets. So is that also a problem in schools? Children having, we hear about Molly, for example, and other types of pills or tablets.
Molly is widely used mainly in the community, but you have some schools that students explore the use of Molly, but it mainly used in the community.
Explain that. What do you mean by mainly used in the community, and help us to understand what's happening here?
Right. When I say mainly used in the communities, that that underage students will be in the community doing their party, different types of parties, so they will be able to take this pill. So we are now in this school looking out keenly on this Molly aspect, but we're not finding a lot in this way. I think it's about few schools. Few deans of discipline have shared that they discovered the Molly in their school.
Oh, I see. So are you trying to indicate that perhaps different schools are challenged with different types of drug use? So some schools, they might be having a problem with Molly, another school it's ganja, another school it's cocaine. Is that what you're saying?
Right. I'm not going to mention about cocaine, but some schools have different behavioral problems. Some schools will be using the Molly, which is not that high as yet in Jamaica. You have the marijuana use, the alcohol use, and also the gambling. So for example, one school will be having problem with gambling issues, not having problem with drinking, and the next school will be having problem with smoking. So it's all different.
So even though gambling is not a drug really, that's also a vice which some of the children are engaging in schools.
Right. You have several schools that are having that gambling problem. It stems really like a sore in most of the schools. Because especially looking at the gambling aspect, students can be taking part in gambling activity, probably in doing a ball game or throwing the bottle, or not necessarily having dice or card packs in the school. They will find different ways of doing things to exchange money.
And of course, exchanging money, wasting their money. So, the doctor level, where the gambling is an issue, how do you deal with that? Because it seems as if it's being done in a way that is very hard to detect.
Right. What we will be doing, what we do in most schools, we engage Rise Life Management Services. They're the one who do gambling prevention in schools. So we will call them. They will do gambling education to help us to understand and to be able to treat with the gambling problem in the different schools. So St. Andish Williams at Rise Life Management Services, you do a lot of public education on gambling.
We're almost upon a break already, but you indicated that you wouldn't address cocaine. Why is that so?
Because I haven't heard of any incident being in the school cocaine. I know that cocaine mainly used with many adult aspect, but that haven't come across. Not sure if it is using in some schools and person haven't reported, but I haven't heard about it.
Dr. Level, hold that thought 1 second because we are now upon a break. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Dealer
this season. At this season for give and this season for share. Juicy, I give we the deal of the year. Any 4 for your Christmas treat. 4 patty 2 Coke, 1 great price. You see, Juicy's any 4 deal is a real Christmas treat. Get any 4 patty with 2 22-ounce Coca-Cola for just $1,150. Pick your favorite patty: beef, chicken, veg, shrimp, or soy to the world. At this season for give and this season for share. Juicy, I give we the deal of the year. A Juicy and Coca-Cola promotion. For limited time only, conditions apply. Building your future, helping you everything that you do. We're in your corner, supporting you. I'm gonna keep my goals on track, keep moving up, no turning back. I got Sagicor Bank, Sagicor in my corner. Nothing's gonna stand up in my way. I'm moving to a brighter day. Sagicor Bank in my corner.
Lord Keisha, you hear about the little girl who get shot in the community last week?
What do you mean?
I mean, say things are going to get even crazy, I know, because them boy they smoking some new gun the other day.
If me could have said something without bad man hear about my name, I would have talked with me know a long time, you know. Because for them foolishness always come back for hurt the innocent people in the community.
But you know, say, them have one program where you can actually give information to the police secretly, you know. Customs join up with Crime Stop and start one campaign named Tell Us. So people can give tips and nobody nothing will say them. Them will give money if the reward lead to an arrest or them can find the gun them.
Boy, you see, me kind of afraid, you know. But things can't continue, so. Me ready to tell them when me know.
You're right. We have to put a stop to it.
The Jamaica Customs Agency wants you to tell us what you know. Call Crime Stop at 311 to share information about illegal guns and other contraband coming through our borders. The Jamaica Customs Agency, country above self.
Are you overseas and need to have construction done on your premises here in Jamaica? Well, look no further. Jar Enterprises Limited is here to serve you. Other services include importing cars, we have a tire shop, we do block making, and we have fish such as tilapia on our fish farm. You can call us today at 876-783-2601, or you can find us on Irish Road in Seaview Gardens in Kingston. Call us today at 876-783-2601. Jar Enterprises Limited.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch. We're having a very interesting and very important conversation with Dr. Renee Level. The topic is the road to drug-free schools in 2023. Dr. Level is a national president of the National Association of Deans of Discipline. Now, Dr. Level, in terms of your role as the national president of this important association, National Association of Deans of Discipline, how is drug use affecting discipline in schools? Dr. Level?
Are you hearing me?
Hearing you, yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, awesome. All right, so this affects indiscipline in schools a whole lot, because deans of discipline will be able to not be able to carry out all their intervention tasks that they will have to be carrying out. So they would have to spend a whole lot of time dealing with this smoking aspect in schools. So they will have to spend a lot of times going around to see what are the problems, the underlying issues that causing these students to be taking part in smoking activity. And also, you will refer students out for external intervention, and when you refer them to NCD or Wildlife Management Services, these external agencies don't have a lot of resources, manpower to keep these students in an intervention program. And most of the time when they go also for intervention programs, coming back into the school, it's also difficult for the external agency also to do follow-up, to be contacting the students' parents. So once they go for substance, for smoking, aspect, they will come back and they will relapse. And then you will be sending out these same students out to get in the same intervention. So sometimes you, as being of discipline, you will be frustrated at times. And most of the parents not playing their part, because parents have an active role in the prevention of drug use, right? So parents should encourage your child or children to be involved in extracurriculum activities at school. So when they're involved in extracurriculum activities, this will limit their time to think about want to go into the bathroom to smoke, want to go at the back of the school to smoke, or want to go into the community to take part in these illegal activities.
You know, Dr. Level, as you spoke there, Rise Life Management coming in to help. And of course, you know, we know there's a National Council on Drug Abuse, but you have a problem in the community as well. It's not just the school. You did mention, for example, that some of the students who are using Molly, they're using it in the communities when they have these various parties. And the students then come to school and we don't know, well, you may know, but it might be difficult to ascertain the extent to which the use of some of these mood-altering tablets is affecting their learning and their behavior in school. So apart from tackling the issue in the school, what about the wider community? Or is that a little bit too much for you to address? Being the community,
right. What I would suggest that community that we would have to play the government. I would now put the government at it. We did mentorship and coaching can also play a role in recovery, as what this is the discussion we have been going on having with my different presidents in the different regions, that we want to do some national campaign partner with the different agencies. But until the government start to pay serious attention to building timeout facilities, making those persons who are selling the drugs in the community be accountable, make them pay for this and collaborate with law enforcement persons, then this is where it will stem for us to have not only a drug-free school, but also a drug-free society, right? And community. But it said back in the days, it take the entire village to raise a child. And when we now be able to look out for John Brown, Mary Brown, Tom,
so you're saying that those days are over, Dr. Level. It no longer takes the whole village.
Yes, some communities really, but when I say take the entire village, now we have to take it on a holistic approach, where everybody decide that they want to look out for each other and don't think that they're being an informer. They're doing it because they want to help a child.
I'm happy you went there, Dr. Level, because here is another challenge. You indicated, you never said so outright, but you have indicated that students are getting these drugs outside of the schools in the communities. And you spoke about it takes a village to raise a child, and everyone needs to be on board. But if you have quote unquote bad actors who are not assisting in the proper raising of the children in the communities in terms of their role as part of a village, to use that term, then where do you go? Because the people who are doing the wrong things are there and the inform of a dead culture still exists. Dr. Level?
I'm not hearing you. What did you say about the informal culture?
Yes, the inform of a dead culture is still there. And if some of the persons who are promoting the use of these drugs are right there in the communities, then how do you overcome that barrier? It seems almost insurmountable, and you are working in a school system. You're not part of the government. Dr. Level?
Right, and then I would go back to going back to do more community intervention programs, doing public education again. And again, I will say the government need to play a more serious part.
How much is a school? Well, I'm putting this challenge to you, Dr. Level, because sometimes we have to be somewhat proactive. To what extent is the school engaging the community to seek to have the community save and protect the children? So you know that when someone who is supposed to be in school approaches someone to acquire the molly or the ganja or whatever it is, the community is sensitized to say, no, we're not going to supply you with this.
I would say we are doing that on a small scale, so that would have to be a lot of coming for during this year. We'd have to do a lot of more collaboration, working with especially justice of the peace in the community, social workers, the church to partner. So this would have to be a partnership.
Yes.
Within this aspect, so that persons can be on the lookout, the watch, neighborhood watch aspect of it, to looking out for these students. Truth be told, you have many communities that be doing that. But as I said, that we would have to take it more from a holistic approach to let the entire Jamaica being looking out for these students and making the necessary preparation, because you have small groups like church that doing presentations, engaging wildlife management services, NCD to do presentations. But we want to take it now. I would say that it would have to take from a national perspective, doing a lot of public campaign, getting these artists on board to do road shows. To students with the whole positive vibration, and to encouraging them that to develop self-leadership is the key towards them to achieve their goals.
Understood. And some of the drugs being used by the students in the schools are also being supplied by other students in the schools, yes?
Right. At times that do happen, that students will take the drugs to
other students. Any success any success in intercepting that kind of transaction among students in schools?
Schools will, once schools find out, they will call in the police officers and will call in the parents, and then the police will deal with that aspect of it.
A lot of work to be done. Dr. Level, you have your hands full, and we wish you all the best. We're gonna be wrapping this segment right now, but I want to thank you for your dedication and for your time and for your thoughts. Thank you so much for being with us on the Morning Watch. We need to have you back.
You're welcome, sir. No problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I believe, Jupal, we have a few comments in relation to the feedback question, which came in late, by the way, to the feedback question, and the feedback question again for those persons who are listening in relation to the heritage site question. Go ahead, Jukal.
Yes, we do. So there's one that says, good morning to you all. At the point of where Devon House is now unnecessary. So that is one. And then Monica says, your panelist said it right. Public consolation, in theory, it's always about the money. That is what government, defends. Remember the total disregard of the citizens in the issue of disturbing the old cholera burial site in West Kings House Road. They also said, it now houses the Fontana shopping area.
Yes, and that feedback question was, at what point does the renovation of a heritage site become too much? Thank you so much, Jukal. And of course, thank you to our guests for the Morning Watch today. And of course, thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we look at other topical and controversial issues. Visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for all our Love 101 programs, and of course, download our app. We are the #1 gospel station in Jamaica. Stay connected to us. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to producer Kathy Gale and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marshall, handing back Love in the Morning with Jakal.
Together, we can create a